And again, that's just one day, right? You're going to have to go home, reset, and do it all over again. And it's probably going to present another set of different battles and challenges for you that day. And so what I found out prior to me, really getting into self-development and bettering myself was that I didn't have a routine. And so I was just allowing life, like a toddler. You know how a parent, you just kind of grab your toddler's hand and you kind of just drag them along, you know what I mean? Or you see those parents with those damn back pats on their kids and they got the string and they just pull them, right? That's kind of how life feels. You just can being dragged along and you don't have any control, right? You don't have any say-so as to what's happening because there's no mental fortitude. There's no mental strength there. You're not conditioned to deal with certain things because you got to realize when you're conditioned to handle, when you conditioning your mind, you condition your body. Take, for example, as you're working out, right? Every day you're conditioning your body to understand that change is coming, right? So each day or every other day you're going up in weight, right? And you're slowly conditioning your body that, okay, my body is now understanding that we're pushing some heavier weight, right? And so you're slowly conditioning your body to get accustomed to moving a certain way, pushing a certain amount of weight, right? Jumping, flexibility, stretching, whatever it is, right? You're conditioning your body because you're going to the gym and you're putting it through pressure over and over again. And same thing with your mind, right? Is when you're mentally preparing your mind, whether it be through reading or journaling or yoga or just sitting in meditation, whatever it is, you're conditioning your body, you're conditioning your mind to dealing with certain types of things that life throws at us. And so it's very important that you guys adopt a morning routine. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the first official episode of the rebrand, right? Beyond the Surface podcast. I'm super excited about that. So for those of you guys that have already been tapping in with me, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to me, whether you see me on YouTube or you see me on Instagram or you got referred over to this podcast, I appreciate you as well. Thank you so much for tapping in. When I was thinking about doing this particular topic, I really wanted to I started thinking about okay, so when you're looking to make a change or you're looking to better yourself, right? There's these things that you have to do. There's these to-do lists, right, that we have. And on a daily perspective, I was thinking okay, well, I know what I have to do, whether it's reading or whatever it is and changing my mindset. But what is the igniter? What is the kickstart that really gets my day going, right? And so I really thought of that would be the perfect podcast episode, which is to share with you guys my morning mental routine, because my morning mental routine is the Kickstarter for my entire day. It literally sets the tone, which allows me to go out in the world and do whatever I need to do to, implement the changes that I want to particularly change in whatever season I'm in whatever area of life that I'm trying to focus on, right? So if you guys want to maximize your productivity, you guys want to increase your efforts, you guys want to control your day, this is definitely the podcast episode that you guys want to tap into. So listen to it in its entirety. I'm going to share with you guys my morning routine, and maybe you guys will get some ideas to implement in your own routines, whether you are in the morning person or maybe you work gray shift and so you're more of a late at night type person, whatever your schedule or your life spans out to be. You can implement this to kind of get your day started, right? And some of you guys might already have kind of more along the lines of a self-care routine that you implement now. And so this will just be adding more fuel to the fire, right? All right, so I want you guys to think of your morning mental routine as your suit of armor, right? So you know how back in the day, in Camelot days, right, when they were riding horses and people were putting on these heavy ass steel body armor on, right? And they're they had the helmets and the chest guards and the shin guards and the legs and whatever else, right? They had just these huge suits of armor because whenever they would go into battle, right, they were needing something to protect their vital organs, right? And so I want you guys to think of your mental morning routine as a suit of armor. When you step outside that door, and in most cases, and probably in some cases, right, you're probably having a battle inside the home before you even get outside the door, right? So that's another thing, right? But for the most part, when you guys step outside that door, life every day is a battle, right? You're facing something. Some type of adversity is coming your way. Some type of something that's going to put you in an uncomfortable situation, right? Or create anxiety for you, or worry, or stress, or whatever it is. So whether you're sitting, you're heading to work and boom, you get stuck in traffic. Now you're late for work. You're an hour late. That's creating, right, an anxiety, or that's creating stress for you already, right? Or if you're at work and you're having to deal with, obnoxious clients or customers over the phone, or you're having an obnoxious coworker bug you about whatever it is, right? Or you're having an uncomfortable conversation with your boss, right? That's creating all those things are slowly chipping away at your mental armor, right? Slowly chipping away at your armor. And if your armor is not strong enough to handle it, right, because you're not preparing yourself prior to the battle that you're having every day, it won't take long before you have a mental breakdown, before you start to avoid situations. I don't know, you hide in the bathroom, right? You lash out easier on people, right? And so it creates this chaotic kind of environment for you and everyone around you, right? So if your armor isn't strong, you're more likely to not be prepared for whatever it is that you're facing in that particular day. And again, that's just one day, right? You're going to have to go home, reset, and do it all over again. And that's probably going to present another set of different battles and challenges for you that day. And so what I found out prior to me, really getting into self-development and bettering myself was that I didn't have a routine. And so I was just allowing life, like a toddler. You know how a parent, you just kind of grab your toddler's hand and you kind of just drag them along, you know what I mean? Or you see those parents with those damn back pats on their kids, and they got the string and they just pull them, right? That's kind of how life feels. You just can be dragged along and you don't have any control, right? You don't have any say so as to what's happening, because there's no mental fortitude. There's no mental strength there. You're not conditioned to deal with certain things, because you got to realize when you're conditioned to handle, when you're conditioning your mind, you condition your body. Take, for example, as you're working out, right? Every day you're conditioning your body to understand that change is coming, right? So each day or every other day, you're going up in weight, right? And you're slowly conditioning your body that, okay, my body is now understanding that we're pushing some heavier weight, right? And so you're slowly conditioning your body to get accustomed to moving a certain way, pushing a certain amount of weight, right? Jumping, flexibility, stretching, whatever it is, right? You're conditioning your body because you're going to the gym and you're putting it through pressure over and over again. And same thing with your mind, right? Is when you're mentally preparing your mind, whether it be through reading or journaling or yoga or just sitting in meditation, whatever it is, you're conditioning your body, you're conditioning your mind to dealing with certain types of things that life throws at us. And so it's very important that you guys adopt a morning routine, or again, really whatever your schedule is, right? Fix it to your schedule, right? For me, I'm a morning person. My everything happens in the morning. So, but it's really important that you guys get some type of mental morning routine down, so you guys can start conditioning yourself and you guys can start strengthening your armor, so that when you do go out, you step outside those doors, you're ready to go, right? And it's going to take a lot longer, and it's going to take a lot more situations to really cut through that armor before you start to lose it a little bit, you know what I mean? And that worry and that stress takes a little bit longer for it to come out than it would if you didn't have any armor at all. And so I want to share with you the 5 things that I do on a daily basis, again, depending on the schedule, but for the most part, on a daily basis that I do that really helps me prepare both mentally and physically for the battles that I know I'm going to face each and every day. And so the first thing that I do that when I wake up is prayer, right? So I sit up in bed and I pray. And I'll just kind of share with you guys just a little bit of kind of what I'm praying about. But obviously each and everyone has their own different way of doing it. But for me, I always typically express 2 to 3 things that I'm grateful for in the morning, right? So it's usually, that's where I start my prayer off with is gratitude. And so I'll give you an example. It may be something like, hey, I'm grateful for the roof that I have over my head. It provides me safety. It provides me comfort. It allows me to shelter my family, keeps us out of the temperament of the weather, whatever the case may be, right? So I might say that I'm grateful for that. I might also say that I'm grateful for, my family, having my immediate family here, my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister, they're here, right? And so I have the ability to go see them whenever I want, because they're close by. And so I'm grateful for that. And then I'm also say I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've been presented, whether they pan out or not. I'm still grateful for all the opportunities that the universe provided me, right? And so I'll start off with gratitude, and then there's a phrase that I always say every single time, and I live and die by this phrase for me, because I found that there's been so much significance, and when I started saying it, that it's released so much stress and anxiety and pressure from me. Again, this works for me. I don't know if it's going to work for you, but I typically will say, I surrender my fears, my worries, and my expectations, and I trust in your guidance and your support. I surrender my fears, my worries, and my expectations, and I trust in your guidance and your support. And I can tell you, man, like ever since I've started saying that, I don't worry about the stuff that I used to worry about as much, right? Like a lot less than what I used to worry about, right? Whether it was finances and how am I going to pay this bill, or if it was relationship issues I was having, or job stuff, or making a sale, or whatever it was. Now that I say that every morning, it's like it's one less thing that I am literally having to think about, because I know that the higher power that I pray to, like, they got me regardless, right? And so it's gratitude, it's that particular prayer that I say, and then whatever else I'm feeling in that moment, right? So I might have a mini conversation, and it just feels great. And so what prayer for me allows me to do is it brings me back down to planet Earth, right? And so I think as life, right, we get thrown into so many different, wearing so many different hats, and so many things are happening all at once, and so many different responsibilities, and all these things that we have to do, that, at least for me, I forget that I'm not the one that's totally in control here, right? I've been given an opportunity to live this life, and it wasn't my own doing, right? I know there's a higher power that created me, that created all of what I see and what I am. And so it just allows me to like step back and say, you know what, like, I know I'm not the one that's in control here. And I give up the power, you know what I mean? In that sense. And so that's what prayer allows me to do. And when I do that, for me, it kind of just brings me back to, like I said, just, I guess, reality. And it helps me understand that, at any point in time, all this could be over. You know what I mean? And that I need to take every opportunity that I can get, and use my abilities the best I can, and make my best judgments, and make the best decisions, and try to help others around me, and just be the best person that I can possibly be. Right. So that's what prayer allows me to do. And so and also too, that helps me mentally. I'm starting to prepare myself. Right. Because you got to think, there's things like gratitude. There's things like awareness that you're jogging in your head, right? That you're kind of like sparking in your head as you're praying. Right. And so that's kind of like a mental stimulation of getting the day going as well, coming from a place of servitude. So prayer is number one. Number two is going to be working out. So I'm typically up at like 5 a.m., get to the gym about 5:30, and I usually work out for about 45 to 60 minutes, right? So I work about for about an hour, and working out has 1,000 benefits for me. Like I couldn't probably name all 1,000, but it does wonders for me. So outside of, obviously, the obvious, right? So the physical change that it creates within my body and outside my body, right? I love the way my body looks when I'm working out. When I'm done working out, the results that I get from consistently working out each and every day. And so I also love pushing myself. I also love pushing myself physically. And so I just love the feeling of, like, it's weird, but like hurting. Not a lot. I mean, but like, when you're doing abs and you're on that one where it's just like, whew, you kind of just want to like give up, and your abs start spazzing out. I like that. Now, I'm not saying that I push through that, but I'm just saying, like, I like that feeling, because it lets me know that, okay, I'm like pushing my body towards something that's it's obviously uncomfortable, but it's creating great results, right? And it's doing something good for my body. And so I like working out in that aspect. Working out also in the morning for me too is definitely an igniter, definitely a Kickstarter, right? Like, your blood is flowing. You might have took some pre-workout, so you're pretty much jacked up, like you're amped up, ready to go, right? And so your focus is there, and it just gets you hype, and it gets you really, really going. And so, usually after the gym, I'm amped up. My energy is high. Like let's go. Like I feel like I can take on the world after I've gotten in a good workout. And again, other than the physical aspect of working out, it also is, again, another mental stimulus for me, right? Because I'm already facing challenges. I'm putting myself in a position to be challenged by the weights that I'm doing, how many sets I'm doing, the reps, or whatever kind of exercises I choose to do. I'm already challenging myself, right? The world isn't challenging me yet, right? I'm challenging myself. That's the first thing that's happening, right? So I'm already in that zone where, okay, I gotta push through this. We're gonna try something new. Okay, I gotta do more rep. I'm gonna try a new exercise, like whatever it is, right? I'll go for a higher weight. And so I'm already conditioning myself to, okay, we're going to face challenges. Let's go. And so when I meet life, right, after the gym, or when I get to work, or whatever the case may be, I'm already in that mode of, okay, I'm going to be tested. Let's go. I'm already primed and ready to go. So that's what working out does for me. The third thing that I do when I get back, automatically, it depends on how I'm feeling that day, but I'm either going to light an incense. Usually it's jasmine, or it could be eucalyptus. What's the other one I got? I forgot what it is. Jasmine is usually my favorite one, though. I'm lighting an incense. I love when my house smells good. I love smelling good. Love it. Love it a lot. If you know me, I usually have candles burning all the time. So I'm usually lighting an incense. I'm usually lighting a candle, or I'm either saging with sage, or I'm also lighting Palo Santo, right? And Palo Santo is used for like creativity. I might do a video on this actually, of my morning routine. Actually, I probably will. I'm actually going to do a video of my morning routine so you guys can see exactly what it looks like. But yeah, I'm lighting something, right? So I'm having something smell good, whether it be the candle or the incense, just so I can create that aroma in my house. I'm also putting on a pot of coffee. Oh my God, so good, right? I get excited just thinking about it. Tomorrow's my day where I don't go to the gym in the morning. And so I wake up 5 a.m. and that's what I'm doing. And then obviously I'm saging my house. And so I don't know if you guys believe in saging or if you've never done it before, but if you haven't, look it up. It's amazing. For me, it's more of a spiritual cleansing, right? And I just ask the higher powers that be that when I am saging my house, just removing the negative vibes from my house and replacing them with positivity and positive vibes and good energy, right? And I just love it. I love the smell of sage. I love the smell of Palo Santo, and I just go to every room in the house, and I'll sage myself. And again, I just love the aroma of smelling. It's something about the aroma of smell good, that I don't know. It just makes me happy. Right. And, you'll notice that of the things that I do, like they make me happy. Like my morning routine is like my everything. Like when I don't have my morning routine, or if it's off, it just ain't the same. I'm not saying I'm a totally different person, but it's just like, hey, it's like, man, I wish I had my coffee, you know what I'm saying? And I have my pancakes or whatever I was eating, and, I got my smell good going, and I can journal, all that stuff, right? And so, whatever you do in your routine, make sure that you actually enjoy it, that you actually like it. That's the fun part. That's also the exciting part about having a routine, because you actually enjoy the routine even more. And then you'll be even more consistent at doing it because you actually like it, So again, that's my third one, where I'll either light incense or candles, Palo Santo or sage. So the fourth thing that I do is I journal. I don't think I've missed a journal entry. No, I'm not even going to say that because I did miss one the other day. But I'm very, very, for the most part, consistent with my journaling, okay? And so if I don't journal in the morning, then I definitely will try and journal before bed. Journaling. I've been journaling now I can show you, I have 6 completed books of journaling, and they date back to, I want to say 2020. So every month since 2020 up until now, I have a journal entry for the most part, right? And so journaling does a lot for me. Let's start with this. If you guys haven't journaled before, I'm telling you, you guys, you got to try it. If you're not much of a writer, then find a different means to express yourself. But the first thing for me about journaling is it allows me to express what I'm thinking. It allows me to express what I'm feeling on paper, right? So I'm single. I don't have someone that I wake up with and be like, be able to have a conversation with on a daily basis and be like, hey babe, this is what I'm thinking and this is what I'm feeling, right? So for me, my release is either having a conversation with myself, right? So either talking to myself in the mirror, which I do a lot, or mostly it's journaling, right? And so I'm putting down, again, whatever as I'm thinking, whatever dreams I might have had, what I want to see for the rest of the day, what's happening during my day, like whatever I feel is coming to mind, I put in my journal. And I usually journal probably, it just depends how I'm feeling that day, but I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, I'll journal, depending on what I have to say and what I'm feeling. And but I'll go to YouTube and I'll throw on some kind of like journaling music, or it might be like sounds of the ocean, waves, things of that nature, or thunderstorms. And I'll just play that. I'll have my coffee and I'll just journal. And I love it. It's peaceful. It's quiet. You know what I mean? And it's just me and my thoughts. And it's very, very peaceful for me. So I love to journal. So outside of like expressing my thoughts and things of that nature, it also allows me to free up any stress that I may be feeling, or things that I may have some anxiety on. It allows me to free that up. And so, and again, journaling is also a mental stimulant. It's also I want to say like a mental dump, you know what I mean? Where I can just, all the thoughts that I'm thinking, the stress, the anxiety, whatever it is that just keeps rumbling in my head, I can just dump it on a piece of paper and get rid of it. And then be able to start fresh with thoughts of what I want to create and what I want to be thinking about. So again, if you guys aren't on the journaling tip, I'm telling you, you gotta start journaling, bro. Like it's great. So that's my fourth one, right? Yes, fourth one. Fifth one, stretching. I am not as consistent with my stretching as I used to be. I do stretch every morning. There's a certain stretch that I do. I lay on my back and like I bring my knees up to my stomach and then I kind of just turn from side to side. Like it really stretches out my back, my lower back. So I do that every morning. But if I can get like a good 25, 30 minute in of stretching, bruh, feels so good. Or on the foam roller, I swear, things change when you get a little bit older. Just letting you know that. So for all you people that are listening that are, in your early 20s, late 20s, yeah, the body changes. And so it's not the same. So just, you're forewarned. But I love to stretch, right? I don't get to do it all the time, but when I do, it definitely is an added benefit in my morning routine. Lastly, I read, right? I read for at minimum 15 minutes. I read at minimum for 15 minutes. And the book I'm reading right now is called Psycho-Cybernetics. If you haven't read it or heard about it, it's super dope. You got to check it out. I also want to recommend too that if you guys haven't started like a mental morning routine and you want to get kind of a game plan for what you can do and how you can actually create a schedule around it, you got to get the book called The Miracle Morning. Okay, I'm going to put it in the show notes just so you guys can have that and the author, who that is. But it's phenomenal. It allows you, it's literally like a blueprint of what you can do, different types of schedules in there, of how long things can be and the activities that you can do to create your mental morning. And then that's, like I said, it's more like a blueprint that you can like expand on and start implementing your own things in which you feel you actually like doing. Phenomenal book. You got to check it out. But yeah, I read for about 15 minutes at minimum. And that allows me to like get my knowledge going, right? So it allows me to consume knowledge and to learn, because I love learning new things. I love learning new things every single day. And so reading that book, again, gives me new perspective on certain ideas and concepts that I never have heard before. And depending on the type of book that you're reading, it just gives you knowledge in that particular area. And so, and it could be just a book that you actually enjoy. It doesn't have to be something that's educational, right? It could be an autobiography of one of your favorite actors or famous people or whoever it is. It could be a book about, I don't know, romance and dragons and whatever you're into, right? Sci-fi stuff, like whatever kind of book you're reading. It doesn't really matter the genre, right? It's just, enjoy that time to yourself. But for me, I personally use it to gain knowledge on either self-development or areas in which I'm trying to better myself, business, finance, right? Entrepreneurship, whatever it is. And so I'm reading something along those lines to gain more knowledge and insight to better myself. And so, I want to end by saying, like, listen, if you don't have a mental morning routine, you got to get one. Because if you don't, as you already know, right, and you're coming aware of, is that you're not putting on a suit of armor when you go out into the day. And so you're literally allowing life to just drag you through the day, and you're going to find yourself where you're becoming more agitated, and you're becoming more anxious, and you're creating more fear, and you're creating more uncertainty, and you're creating more doubt, right? And you're creating more worry, right? And you're having more stress in your life. And that's not helping anyone, right? And so we all have things that we have to do in life. We all have responsibilities. And so what we can do as individuals who are trying to better ourselves is to be responsible in the sense that we need to take care of ourselves, right? And that starts with our mind, body, and soul, right? And so find activities that allow you to really invigorate those aspects of your life, right? And invigorate those components. And I'm telling you, if you be consistent at it, you're going to see a massive change in how you communicate with people and how you handle stress throughout the day. You're going to see yourself having more energy in the morning and being ready to go and just being like you could just take on life. It's going to feel amazing. And if this is something that's going to be new for you, then yeah, it's going to be challenging, and you're probably going to hate it for a little bit, and it's going to be something that you're going to have to work at. But again, as you incorporate things that you like doing, right, in your mental morning routine, I'm telling you, it's going to change you. It changed me. And I love that I have the opportunity and the ability to work from home. And so I create my own schedule. And so, like, I can do all of these things for as long as I want to, for the most part, right? And so I think the most important thing is I get to do them every day. That's the most important thing, right? I get to wake up in the morning and I get to knock out all these things. And so my mornings start off amazing. When I had a full-time job, I was working Monday through Friday, I was only able to do my routine on Saturdays and Sundays. 2 days out of the week, I was only able to do what I absolutely love in the morning. That's why I loved my Saturdays. I love when Saturdays came up, because I knew it was like, oh man, I get to wake up. I got the pot of coffee. It's going to brew at 6 o'clock. I already got the alarm set. So I'm going to wake up to the smelling of some coffee, right? I'm going to pray. I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to journal. I'm going to read. I'm going to stretch. I'm going to go to the gym, whatever, how that looks out. But I get to do that. I'm like, man. And I was looking forward to it. During the week, I'm like, man, I can't wait till Saturday comes. And so now I have the opportunity to where I could do that every day. And I love it. So if you guys don't have a mental morning routine, please implement one for yourself. I'm telling you, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to change your life. I'll put the book in the show notes, but if you haven't already read The Miracle Morning, phenomenal, great template book for you to get started on a mental morning routine for yourself. And so I just want to wrap up by saying I appreciate you guys for stopping in and tapping with me. I greatly appreciate it. If you are listening to the podcast via Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the show. If you guys are watching on YouTube, shout out to you. Please subscribe. Again, I just love your guys' support. And as I always say, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks, guys.